Welcome to another edition of Coffee with the Goose, where we talk about things that are interesting, fascinating, and irritating. Yes, I am the Goose, and I'm so happy you joined me again. We're going to talk more boxing as we get ready for the next Manny Pacquiao fight. But first, we start as we always do, our own little personal training regimen. Caffeine, our own little PED, right? My coffee, as you know, very strong, like my opinion. But we got some creamer in there to make it sweet, just like me. All right, now we're ready to go. I'm so excited. I know you guys are too. Manny Pacquiao, and there aren't going to be many more fights. Maybe 2, maybe 3 more. So enjoy it while you got it. The Pac-Man is going to be in action again very soon. A welterweight title bout against Keith one-time Thurman. That will be in Las Vegas. We've seen many legendary performances by Pacquiao over the past several years. It's going to be on July 20th, which ironically will be my wedding anniversary. So be double blessed. I'll take care of the anniversary stuff first. Don't get me wrong. But very, very excited. A lot of material to cover as we get ready for the fight. Last video, we talked about Keith Thurman and all of his trash talking and how he may have gone a little bit too far. And when I say that, I mean making Manny Pacquiao mad. That's something you don't want to do. You got your hands full already facing off against one of the greatest fighters ever and one of the smartest. But now you made him mad. Not a good move, Keith Thurman. But that's done. You're going to have to pay the price now. What can Thurman do to beat Manny Pacquiao? Not many people have beaten Manny Pacquiao. At least throw out the corruption losses. There have been a couple of those. We won't get into that. But what does it take to beat Manny? Yeah, you have to be tough, obviously. You have to have heart. You have to go through an intense training regimen. You better be in shape. You better be ready to go all 12 rounds because Pacquiao will be ready. But it's more than that. You have to be smart. One of the misconceptions about Manny Pacquiao, if you guys have done your research, done your homework, you know better. But many people still assume Manny is just a reckless brawler who is prone to sets himself up for being knocked out. That's not the case. He's been around a long, long time. He's fought so many great fighters, and he's learned. And he's got a world-class coach in Freddie Roach and Boo Boy. So they're very smart in Pacquiao's camp. You have to be smart to beat Pacquiao. So what can Thurman do? Well, give him credit, first of all. He's smart enough to be 29-0 with 22 KO. So he's a world champion. And he has plenty of experience. As he said, he's been in over 100 amateur fights. So he's been around the block. Keith Thurman is no spring chicken. He's 30. He's in his prime, but he's been around the block and he's very smart. And he tells you too. He says, "I have a high ring IQ." Well, we'll see when we touch the gloves on July 20th. Now, it's not going to be easy to follow my hints, my advice. It's not really advice. This is just a in-depth look at what Thurman needs to do. First and foremost, it's foot speed. Not just foot speed. It's movement. When I say Pacquiao has great footwork, it doesn't mean he's fast. It means he knows how to place his feet for the best advantage, offensively and defensively, and setting his opponent up. So Keith Thurman has to negate that foot speed and foot movement of Manny Pacquiao. You cannot just stand there and duke it out with Manny. That's not going to work. You're going to lose, and it's going to be very painful. You have to move. You have to move constantly, in and out, side to side, because guess what? That's what Manny Pacquiao is going to do. And that's first and foremost, that's what Keith Thurman needs to do, is move his feet in a smart way. You've heard the term speed kills. That's true. That's what Manny does. He sets you up. And he's a very smart fighter, so Keith needs to do that too. Constant movement. He also needs to take advantage of his reach. Now again, there's more to it than that. That doesn't mean just stay outside and do pot shots. With Pacquiao, He has fought many fighters with greater reach, but his technique is perfect. He knows how to use, again, the footwork to get inside and land shots. And what he'll do is he'll use your advantage, your reach advantage, against you. He will I won't get into too many details about the footwork, but what he'll do is he'll dodge side to side, but more often than not, he'll duck in and out. And what fighters will do is throw a lazy jab, just to kind of try and feel him out, if you will. Well, when you do that, you're stepping forward. And Pacquiao uses, and he'll pop you, and he'll use your forward motion against you, and that makes that hard punch even harder. So Keith Thurman, and I hope for his sake, he's doing his homework with Pacquiao. Using your reach advantage does not mean throwing lazy jabs and, falling right into the trap. So we'll see. Here's something else he needs to do. He needs to bully Manny Pacquiao. Not many people have done that. Well, yes, Jeff Horn, but that was just dirty fighting, and it should have never happened because the referee let that happen. That should not have been the case. But we'll put the Horn fight aside. We've seen cases, not many, where you bully Pacquiao, and that's one way to negate his movement. You need to corner him. You need to, use your strength against him, and not let him dance all over the place. You need to get him set before you can punch him. He's a moving target. It's so hard to hit him with any meaningful shots. So Keith Thurman needs to be a bully, within the constraints of the rules. And we'll see how the referee responds to that. Another thing Keith Thurman needs to do, and he's had no problem with this in the past. We saw in Pacquiao's last fight, Adrian Broner, this was his main weakness. Broner, don't forget, Broner was a 4-time world champion. Don't demean Adrian Broner for his skills. He's a great fighter, okay? Keith Thurman needs to do what Adrian Broner did not. Let your hands go. Throw punches in bunches. Don't just, rest. And Thurman's 29. He's a kid. And when I don't mean that, I'm not picking on him. What I mean is he's young, in his prime. He should have lots of energy. He's got to throw a lot of punches. You're not going to beat Manny Pacquiao just by looking good. You've got to outpunch him. And another thing with Keith Thurman, he needs to use that ring generalship. You've heard that term? What that means is you have to be the one setting the pace. You have to be the one pushing the envelope. You have to be the one who's aggressive going forward. 99% of the time, Pacquiao's the one going forward. You have to, if Keith Thurman, if you want to win, you have to have ring generalship, and that's what wins you points with the judges. And last but not least, you better get it done early, because Pacquiao will figure you out. I'm not going to, I can't say this often enough. He's a very smart fighter that comes with experience, that comes with great coaching, Freddie Roach. And if you want to put Pacquiao away, if you want to beat Pacquiao, don't expect to do it on points over 12 rounds. It's probably not going to work. Better put him away. Better be aggressive, bully if you can, foot movements side to side, and let your hands go. You have to be the man. You have to take the bull by the horns if you want to beat Manny Pacquiao. Thurman can do it, but he has to be smart. Being a tough guy ain't going to do it with Manny Pacquiao. Keith Thurman has to be smart, and that's what wins fights at this level. They're both champions. At this level of fighting, you have to outsmart the other fighter. So we'll see, and we'll get into this more in later videos. We'll see what happens. That's it for this edition of Coffee with a Goose. Again, I want to remind you, we're going to go to LA very soon. As soon as Pacquiao and company goes there to finish up their training, we're going to hopefully line up some interviews with Freddie Roach and Justin Fortune and Boo Boy and maybe Manny Pacquiao himself. It's very exciting. We shouldn't have much of a problem. I'm very excited about that. Oh, well, one more thing. It's been 4 years since Keith Thurman's knocked anybody out, and it's been, I believe, about 4 years since he's faced a southpaw. The man's got his work cut out for him, but it's going to be exciting. That's it for this edition of Coffee with the Goose. Don't forget, we're on Facebook now. Thank you so much for watching, and many, many thanks to all you folks for subscribing. We'll talk to you again, boys. Take care.